Each block doubles one scene for your tool. No labels, no garbage, just usable blocks. You probably think less than you used to. Not because you got less intelligent, because you stopped needing to. You don't sit with questions anymore. You don't wrestle with ideas. You don't stay confused long enough to understand anything deeply. The moment something feels difficult, you reach for something easier. A search, a video, an answer, a distraction. And slowly, without noticing it, your brain adapts. It stops digging, stops reflecting, stops building thought from the inside. Because why struggle through complexity when something outside you can do it faster? That's the shift most people never notice. They think they're becoming more efficient. But what they're really becoming is dependent. Dependent on prompts. Dependent on feeds. Dependent on explanations. Dependent on being given the next thought instead of forming one. And the scary part is, this doesn't feel like decline. It feels like convenience. You get answers faster. You make decisions quicker. You move on sooner. But speed is not depth. And access is not understanding. Reading a summary is not the same as thinking. Repeating an idea is not the same as owning it. And reacting quickly is not the same as seeing clearly. That's why so many people today can talk constantly and still say nothing. They have information, but no structure, opinions, but no depth, confidence, but no real thought behind it. And if that sounds harsh, good, because you've seen it. Maybe in other people, maybe in yourself. How often do you pause and think without needing stimulation? How often do you sit in silence without reaching for your phone? How often do you follow one thought all the way to the end, instead of abandoning it halfway for something easier? That ability is fading, not all at once, quietly, gradually, almost politely, because the modern world rewards speed, reaction, and convenience. Not reflection, not patience, not depth. Everything is built to keep you moving, scrolling, clicking, consuming, responding. And a mind that is always reacting never gets the chance to become its own. That's where the real danger begins. Because once you stop thinking deeply, you become easier to guide. You accept more, question less, repeat faster, doubt less. Not because you became weak, because you became mentally dependent on external structure. And once that happens, your mind is no longer a place where ideas are formed. It becomes a place where ideas are delivered. That is a completely different kind of life. You may still feel like yourself. You may still speak like yourself. You may still defend your views like they are yours. But if you never slowed down enough to build them, where did they really come from? That question should bother you, because the most effective control does not silence your mind. It keeps it busy. Busy enough to never look inward. Busy enough to never go deeper. Busy enough to confuse stimulation with thought. And the longer that continues, the harder it becomes to tell the difference between what you think and what was placed there. That's why mental passivity is so dangerous. It doesn't look like collapse. It looks like normal life. You wake up, you consume, you react, you move on. And somewhere inside all of that, your inner voice gets quieter. Not because it disappeared, because it's being drowned out by endless input, endless answers, endless noise. So maybe the question isn't whether technology is making life easier. Maybe the real question is this: what is it taking from you in return? And if the price of convenience is your ability to think for yourself, is that really convenience? Or is it surrender made to feel comfortable?